I came into this movie knowing very little about it. The cast, there's a love triangle, and there's domestic violence in it. That was it. That was all I knew. So I thought chick flick that tries to tackle something serious. I came out of it feeling like It Ends With Us should be required viewing for many people, especially women living through either domestic violence or generational trauma or both. The story does revolve around a woman who loved two men, and yes, one of the men was physically abusive, but I was not expecting how delicately and responsibly the movie handles difficult topics and scenes. Lily Bloom, whose father had just died, the same father she watched beat her mother her entire childhood, meets a man on a random rooftop, neurosurgeon Ryle Kincaid. He comes in and kicks a chair. That's literally the first we see of Ryle. They make a connection but walk away from it, and it wasn't until Lily, months later, opens her flower shop and unknowingly hires Ryle's sister that they meet again. Ryle wasn't the type to be in relationships, but he pursues her and eventually they get together. It seems like a fairy tale, marred only by one accidental hit, when, from our perspective, he accidentally hits her as he moves his hand off the hot dish in the oven. But that wasn't the last time. When Lily's childhood love, Atlas, surprisingly comes back into her life, Ryle shows even more violent tendencies. In one fight, she falls down the stairs, and because we don't see it very well, it was edited beautifully. We, the audience, can't exactly tell if he pushed her or if she fell, considering she was chasing him down the stairs. And it takes a third time before Lily realizes both times before he deliberately hurt her. Neither case was an accident. The night she left him was the night she found out she was pregnant, and she gets help from Atlas, her first love, who had always made it clear that he is there to help. I think the reason I was so moved by the story is that I expected the title It Ends With Us to be about Lily and Atlas walking hand in hand toward the sunset after she survives an abusive relationship. But it wasn't. She says it to her daughter the day she was born and after having asked Ryle for a divorce. She chose to walk away because she was determined not to have her daughter grow up the way she did. The cycle ends with them. The fact that it takes her a while to realize that he was actively hurting her was so important to have written in. The fact of the matter is, people do not get into relationships to be abused. They fall in love with someone who was charming, loving, affectionate, caring, all the good things. And because they knew that person as that, when the abuse starts, they easily believe it when the abuser or their own minds gaslight them into believing things were accidents. It is difficult to understand, let alone accept, that you have been abused by the person you love and trust the most. Lily as a character is top tier. She had all the makings of a damsel in distress, but she maintains her sense of agency, making the choice to leave and walk away. There was a moment when I thought she was going to take Ryle back when he built Emmy's crib for her. She is kind enough to let him feel the baby kick, but when he asks her to come home, she doesn't. Ryle has pretty terrible childhood trauma himself, and I understand that hurt people, but in the scene with the crib, months after she had left him over the domestic violence, he tells her, "Come home, I will get help." In my view, he should have been getting help for years, but even if I give him the benefit of understanding why not, he absolutely should have already reached out for help immediately after she left him that night. He was not responsible for what happened when he was 6. He is responsible for getting mental health help as an adult. I also particularly liked how Lily didn't just jump into a relationship with Atlas right away. They had parted ways when she went home to her mother's by him saying to her, "If you find yourself in a position to love again, just fall in love with me." He didn't pressure her even though he had waited many years to have her in his life again. He understood her need to heal, And she really took her time with that and to focus on her daughter. Only when they were both ready did they reconnect. This is an important message because we all need to understand that previous relationships will always impact current ones. And it's up to us and how well we've healed and coped to ensure that impact is minimal, if anything. Jumping into a new relationship without handling your own wounds just makes you bleed all over the other person. Like I said, It Ends With Us should be required viewing. Now, I haven't read the book, as you can probably already tell, but I'm about to. And I've also gotten It Starts With Us. Let me know what you think. Did you like the movie? If you've read the book, do you think the movie did it justice? Do you agree with my points on this video? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more content.